Good morning and welcome to Belfast Metropolitan College. I'm here to give you information on the foundation degree in hospitality and tourism with tourism specialisms. This is just giving you information and to give you some contact details. The first year coordinator would be Nigel Monteith and his email address is there. So if you're interested, you may want to make a note of that now. This presentation will be available. It's going to be recorded and it will be available so you can access, but it's Nigel Monteith at belfastmet.ac.uk. My name is Carolyn McNeice and I'm the course director for the whole foundation degree in hospitality with the travel and tourism specialisms. And my name is Carolyn McNeice. Again, my email address is there, cmcneice at belfastmet.ac.uk. Today we're going to talk about really about the course. So you can find out more about Belfast Met on the website itself. The course is based in Titanic campus, so there's some information on that. You will meet with the first year coordinator if you decide to enroll on the course. You'll meet with the first year coordinator on week beginning the 14th of May, and at the minute it's planned for the 14th of September, and it's planned for the 16th of September as an induction. You find out more about the course, including the entry requirements, which I will be discussing with you in a second, and also to tell you about some progression pathways. I myself have come from working in the travel and tourism industry for a very long time, so I can give you some insight into the paths that you may want to take when you finish the course. And also it's very important to check that this is the right course for you. So at the end of this, there's an opportunity to ask any questions. As well as that, though, you feel free to email us if you think of something afterwards. So also to find out more about the application process and what you need to do after this. So your entry requirements, as this is affiliated with Ulster University, they are very, very strict. You should have at least 64 UCAS points from your qualifications that you've done, which may be A levels, it may be BTECs, whatever, but it should equate to 64 UCAS points. Okay. You also need to have a GCSE or equivalent, in other words, key skills in Maths and English language, grade C or above. This is imperative and you have to provide the original certificate for these two exams. Okay, so that is really, really important and you must provide those qualifications. You must also bring in the qualifications that have enabled you to reach your 64 or above UCAS points. So all of those certificates, the original certificates, not photocopies, must be provided at induction because you won't be able to enroll until you have those. Okay, so proof of qualifications must be provided at enrolment, and also your GCSE, Maths and English language, grade C or above certificates. If there's any pending qualifications, they can be recorded on your application. I know sometimes the key skills results maybe come out a wee bit later. So if that's an issue, put pending on the application form and we'll discuss that with you. So this is a level 5 qualification that you would be enrolling on. The awarding body is Ulster University. The cost, which you can apply for student finance, the course fee is $2,765. That includes the registration fee, which is paid to Ulster University as well. This year, there's no additional costs. Sometimes, and maybe in your second year of the course, we would ask you to pay some money towards trips. But this year we're not planning any trips because of the COVID. That might change, but we will let you know well in advance. The course is delivered on a full-time basis over a period of 2 years, or the part-time isn't going to run this year, but it would be 3 years for part-time. The course itself, we plan to have you in 3 days a week. Now that doesn't mean you just do your work for 3 days a week. You would be required to be working at home. There's quite a lot of study and self-research and things like that you have to do. So as I say, at the minute, I think it's going to be a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but the timetables haven't been finalised. So just to let you know, That's what it would be. It's a higher education qualification. It's located in Titanic campus, and the course team leader for the first year is Nigel Monteith. Okay, the general email address is bbsinfo@belfastmet.ac.uk. But if you have something very specific, it might be quicker to contact Nigel Monteith, whose email I gave you at the start. Just to let you know a little bit about the course then and how you would be assessed. Looking here, you've got a rundown of the different modules. Okay, the first year, first semester, you'll be studying Introduction to Hospitality and Tourism, and it's letting you know about all the different sectors within those industries. There's quite a lot of varied roles you can do, quite a lot of varied departments, organisations, and so on. So that really covers a good grounding as to what is involved in this industry. The other one then is Management in Action, which is really looking at, because it's a level 5 qualification and the title is Management course, so it's looking at how to motivate staff and teamwork and things like that. Then you have Inbound and Domestic Tourism, so it's very important to know our local product. In second semester, then, you will be doing Managing Financial Performance. Now, this is related very much to the industry, so it's not like a full accountants exam, and students have done very well. It's been a very successful module. So some students come on and say, I hate maths, I hate anything to do with numbers, and they all do very well. The next one then is Global Travel Destinations. So that's building on from the domestic tourism and looking at destinations around the world and what they do and how they manage their destinations and attract tourists. And then also we do a module, Event Operations, where you do a practical event. And this is very important. I know myself, just from working in the industry, we had to organise a lot of different events, themed events, information events, and so on. So it's a really important module for you. Now, if you look to the side, you'll see that the first module and first semester is one assignment and then an exam, which happens in January. The next one is assignment and a role play. The inbound and domestic is a class test and an assignment. Financial performance is assignment and class test. Global destinations is a class test, a presentation, and then also you will do an exam in May, but that's in second semester. And event operations, as I said, you would be doing a practical activity of an event, which is great fun. I mean, they've done things like organised pub quizzes, fashion shows, things like that along the way. Then in second year, you would be studying more management-oriented modules. So you'd be doing HR management, in other words, human resources management, and learning about recruiting staff, selecting staff, dealing with grievance, group work again, all of the different things to do with HR and running a business. That would be an assignment and an exam. Then you've got the marketing and entrepreneurship. And this is encouraging some people because you can start your own business. So it's just to highlight the opportunities and how to go about it. And we have guest speakers in to talk about that. The assignment, there's an assignment and there's then a small group presentation for that. There isn't an exam with that one. And for the presentation, we have people from industry come in and they watch as you do your presentation. The students came up with a new product idea relating to hospitality, tourism or events, and some of them did extremely well, and the people from industry were encouraging them to go forward and actually work with introducing this product. So some of them actually are doing that this year. The next one then is Global Tourism Management, and that looks a lot at the legal aspects of tourism. There's been a lot of people involved in reporting on the news from these organisations, so it's looking at that and just tourism in general. It's leading on a bit from the hospitality and tourism, the introduction in first year, and also a little bit from global travel destinations. And again, that's an assignment and an exam. So in the January of second year, you will have 2 exams. Then you will go on to do work-based learning, and that's where you go out on placement. And you can go out basically as soon as your exams are over, you can go out on placement. That would be from, officially it's from the end of January, but you can go a week earlier, and it's through until the end of May. Now, some people choose to stay on in their placement if they're lucky enough to be offered that opportunity. So again, it just depends on your circumstances. I'll talk about progression, which can impact on whether you stay on in your placement over the summer. But we've had people in placement. A lot of people choose to stay at home here and be placed in their local town or in Belfast or whatever. We've had people work we had one student actually who was sorted with an airline this year to work in cabin crew, but unfortunately with COVID that all fell through. We've had students work in Miami, in Boston, in Mauritius, South Africa. So all over, we have quite a group of students go to Belgium each year, and that's nice because they have the support of each other and they're looked after very well when they go to Belgium. It's more a hospitality role, but they enjoy the experience and they get the opportunity to travel around a lot. It's quite cheap to travel from Belgium to Paris, Germany, everywhere. So that's quite a popular one. And then we also, while you're out in placement, you look at employability skills so that when you finish the course, you're ready to apply for jobs. So that's quite important as well. And that will be dealt with mainly online, but I'll probably get you in a day or two over your placement time to go over stuff with you. Okay, and again, that's gathering up a portfolio and an essay then for that. So the worst time probably is January at the end of second semester, first semester where you have 2 exams, but then that's all your exams over. Going on then to progression pathways, you have the opportunity at the end of this, if you get a good mark, quite often we would say aim for at least 60%. And if you get over that, the chances of you getting into final year at Ulster University are very good. So we have, out of a class of 20, we would have, this year we had quite a lot, I think it was 17 in the end, who decided to go into the final year. One of the students decided to take it slower and they are going into second year at Ulster University, which means they will do 2 years at Ulster. The others will just do 1. And it's totally your prerogative, and I can chat with you and talk about whether I think you should go second year or do the final year. At the end of that, as long as you pass everything, you will get a BA honours degree in international travel and tourism management. We have quite a lot of our students have come out with firsts or 2 1s, and they've done very well. They, I think, feel it's intimidating to move on to that, but they soon settle down. If you want to do the final year, you do have to do 2 bridging modules, 1 in June and 1 in August and a bit in September for that second one. And you must pass those to get in. To be quite honest, we haven't had anybody who's failed those exams at the end of the modules. Some people have chose to leave and decided not to stay on, but everybody else who was focused and did it, they've done well. So that's one of your options. And then after that you can go. I think it's a good option to take because you end up, you've got your full degree. You've managed 2 years at Belfast Met, which you get a lot of support, and then go into your final year at Ulster University and get your full honours degree. If you think of it, it's really only 9 months because you're finished in May. But we can talk about that whenever you're on the course. The next one then is progression pathways. If, say, at the end of the course you think, I don't really want to do any more studying, some people do, and then they change their mind and apply to uni. Again, I would be there to support you because I would be your personal tutor in second year. So if you decide that you do want to go into employment, there's lots of different avenues you can go in. The Tourist Board, Tourism NI, or even Tourism Ireland, and the local council offices are all great jobs. Some people think, but I want to travel. They get great opportunities to travel. One of our girls, one of our ex-students, she ended up being the sales and marketing manager for Titanic Belfast just as it was opening. It was heavy going. She was set a lot of targets, but she ended up doing really well, and she was traveling to Hong Kong and places to promote it. We've had others who are going to Dubai and that to promote our product, our local product. So it is a great option. It's very interesting. They're so proactive, and they've done very well recently in the COVID situation. So that's one area you could think of. The other then, looking at maybe airlines, and as I mentioned before, one of our students had actually secured a place as cabin crew for his placement. Airlines are usually reluctant to do it as a placement, but he sort of took it as a job and they agreed to sign some forms for me that I need. But airlines are a great option. What you can do, again, it just depends how COVID pans out, but we have had students who between first and second year have secured places at the airport doing check-in or working on the ramp. That's quite good experience to have because you're learning all the aviation language, like the 3-letter codes and all the abbreviations that they have. And then if you did want to go onto the airline, you've got a very good grounding for that. The other thing you can do is look at tour operators, and that would be people who package tours together and then sell them either through travel agencies or direct. There's online tour operators, and there's also then face-to-face tour operators who exist. There's also travel agencies. We've been working very closely with Hayes Travel. When they came in, they took over a lot of the Thomas Cook offices, and we've set up some training with them. So that might be an opportunity for you to go and get your placement there to see if that's something you want. I did it for about 20 years. And I loved it because you get so many opportunities to travel, go on educationals where you're treated to the best of everything. So it's an exciting job. It's very good. Also then, hospitality in general, we've said hotels there, but hospitality industry anywhere really, you can apply for jobs in that. Some of our students have even went to hotels for their placement and ended up getting a job out of it. So that's an option. The other one, which I haven't written there, but is going into the events industry, and you can do that as well because you've done your module on events in first year and second semester. So that's an option as well. Then some of our students have gone to work in like the National Trust, like Mount Stewart, Castle Ward, all of those places. So there are just a few ideas of the roles that you can go into. Some students have gone into the cruise industry and absolutely loved it. It's hard going, it's hard work, but it's been a great experience for them. So we try and bring ex-students in and people from industry to talk with you, and if the class is small, we can actually arrange maybe to take some of you out. It all depends on COVID and the restrictions and what way they're going to go, but say loads of opportunities and exciting. Okay, so some students have comments about what they've thought of the course. So they enjoy the mix of practical and written assessments. The timetables are good in that we try and keep it over the 3 days. This year, the plan is that you will come in one of the days, and then it will be what we call blended learning. In other words, you will have online presentations put available on Canvas, but also then some sessions on a webinar, a bit like this, where you would come and attend it and maybe do some activities on the webinar. Variety of placements, which, as I say, I'm your second year tutor, so I would be discussing that with you when the time is right. We have done some trips to Dublin and Edinburgh in the past. I'm not really sure if that's going to happen this year, so we'll just have to play it by ear and see if it can be accommodated in second semester. Retention, in other words, the number of people that stay on the course from enrolling last year was 95%, so that's very good. So very few students, well, I think it was only one student dropped out, and that was more personal reasons rather than the course itself. Employers then, as I say, I worked for about 20 years in the travel industry. Nura, one of the other tutors, has worked, she's working very, very closely with tour guiding people. Nigel has extensive experience in the events industry. So through us all, we have great contacts with the industry, and we can try and help you with placements. We can get them to come in and talk if it's a particular area that you're interested in learning about. So we can help you with that. We've got a good network of employers. They say that it gives the students a great introduction to travel and tourism. they've also said that we are actively involved with the employers in revalidating their foundation degree. They come along and advise us whether the content of what we're proposing to put into your classes is relevant and valid, because that's very important. And there are a wide range of employment opportunities that may be a wee bit restricted. We don't know at the minute. I know that they're working very hard. I've a lot of friends still in travel, and they've been working very, very hard over COVID. So we will just have to play it by ear in terms of employment opportunities. So what happens next? If you apply and enroll today, then you will be attending a pre-entry advice and guidance session, very, very much like what I'm doing with you now. In fact, some of the slides will be the same, but there'll be more information given, more specific information, and that would be, you'd be meeting Nigel then, who would go over that with you. You must make sure you meet the entry requirements. So just to go over that again, that's 64 UCAS points, and you must have a grade C or above in maths and English language. Okay, and then as long as there's places available, you will get a firm offer as long as you meet all of the criteria. Okay, and remember, it must be the original copies of the certificate that come through. So you can keep track of your application using your online account that will be set up as soon as you go to apply. You've got to make sure you provided a correct email address and mobile number, so please double check that, because a number of times they've left out a digit or put a wrong digit in, and it means we can't contact you. So we will then contact you by email, text, and your mobile phone. Follow instructions contained in your email, text, or letter. You will be invited to attend a PEG session if, and it will tell you this in the letter, but if you don't attend, your place will be offered to somebody else. If you're unsure, you can contact us, and as I say, the details are provided at the very first. So it's Nigel Monteith at belfastmet.ac.uk or C McNeice at belfastmet.ac.uk. And then you will be asked, if everything's okay, you'll be asked to enroll and bring in the proof of your qualifications, original certificates only. There's some general contacts here. Lorraine Gervin is, she's actually our CAM now, but this is a general email address, bbs.info@belfastmet.ac.uk. Nadine Bloomer is very, very helpful. She's our school administrator, and any inquiries about, well, I haven't got an invite to my PEG session or whatever, you can contact her. There's some telephone numbers available there as well. Okay. Belfast Business School, if you start to think maybe this isn't the course for me, it's just to let you know that within our school there are other courses offered. There's a general business course, there's leadership, management and professional qualifications. Some of them you might even second year decide to do as an evening class, which is possible, and it's always good to have that. Hospitality, professional cookery and bakery. I've talked to you about the foundation degree in travel and tourism. If anything happened that you didn't, or you're not able to have 64 UCAS points, you could apply to the BTEC level 3 course, which you could do and get an extra A level, or if you stick it for 2 years, get an extra 4 A levels, and then apply onto the foundation degree. We also do an aviation course, which is very, very practical. And if you feel that the aviation industry is the industry you want to go into, that might be better suited for you. But it is very, very specific, whereas the foundation degree covers all the different areas. We also have a tour guiding qualification at level 2, 3 and 4. And we have an events management foundation degree as well, which you may be signing into that webinar too. Very, very similar in duration and so on, and the placements and that, but it's focusing very much on events management. We also do courses in hairdressing, beauty and spa. So all of that information is on our website if you needed to have a look and see what other courses are available. Just to let you know, it's just an add-on really, we do give additional support for exams if anyone has learning difficulties or a disability or something like that. The sort of things we have is giving you extra time in an exam, having a reader, having a scribe, maybe having a separate room. It depends on what the issue is. You do need evidence. and you do need to let them know in advance. So basically, if you think there's something that you would need extra help for, please fill in the LS1 form more or less as soon as you've got enrolled and offered your place, because it is very busy and there's only so many staff can meet with you, so there may be a bit of a waiting list. So just to let you know about that. If there's anyone that is applying for the course and maybe has previous experience within the industry, then you might be able to get accreditation for prior learning. Now, this would involve having a lot of experience within the industry or having various qualifications. But if you do feel that you might be exempt for a module or something, like say if you have a marketing degree and you want exemption from the marketing module, we can chat about that. But again, that would need to be actioned very quickly after enrolling. I'm just putting this on, but it's really just you must disclose if there's any criminal records, because when you go to apply for Ulster University, it's asked in the UK, so it is very important, and we need to be notified. So that's just about that, and that's available. Can I ask then if you have any questions, please? And I'll just turn it on. You can turn on your mic. No, I'm taking it that no one has any questions they want to ask now, but please feel free if you want to maybe be more specific, email Nigel Monteith or myself and we'll get back to you as soon as possible and answer your questions. But thank you for coming along and attending our webinar on the Foundation Degree in Travel and Tourism Management. Thank you.